Good morning. Much less cloud today, it's clearer, no rain. It's quiet, Shabbat morning, less traffic. I'm not sure how bright it was yesterday when I showed you the fruit of these trees. Starting off with little flowers last spring. We were amazed yesterday to notice that there were still flowers up here in November. These yellow ones came later, maybe 6 weeks later. The cycles of nature. Oops, there we got it. A red sunrise. Let's stop here for a second just to get this well. The birds are coming alive, celebrating the joy of this moment. I imagine they don't look at their watches. And I'm not sure if they even look at the sun or the colours, but they're programmed to jump into life at dawn. Oh wow, that's nice. Sometimes it's golden. It's like a red grapefruit right now. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid. You'll see why I went into reverse here in a moment. And this was not the reason. This was the reason. Look at those leaves there over the arch. The branches. Assalamu alaikum, Said. And the moon is way up here as well, half moon now, waning moon. We had quite a few groups yesterday and also again today. People coming to visit. Obviously local traffic, because outside traffic is not arriving, it's not coming to the country. Today we have different families coming, actually with little children from different places. the groups are small, they're not allowed to be big, so it's fine for families to travel. Sunrise at the Sea of Galilee. Let's walk down here a little bit and we can see it over the reeds. It's a nice effect. And through the trees. It's nice and fresh. I think we're probably just below 20 degrees Celsius. That's slightly under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, you probably wanted to see these flowers here. Flowers always make a difference, don't they? In a way, a flower's like a little mini sunrise. I don't know if you can say that. There, just over Ducheneltum, you can see the top of those hills between Israel and Lebanon. And here our Mount Arbel with all the boar. And last night the jackals were really howling. It's amazing the den they kick up. They're probably onto some prey. So let's go over and see what's happening at the water. It's funny, the slightest dip of the camera angle and then the light changes so much. There's not much point going down here now because we won't see the sun in the water. We don't have enough angle. The sun is going so far south. Imagine another 6 weeks and we'll be at the winter solstice. So here we are. Now the red is giving away to golden. We've lovely, inspiring readings this morning. Powerful. We're living in this world of so many goods and material. And we need it because we're material. We cannot survive without material things. We need food. We don't have to pay for air. It's one of the things we get for free. There hasn't been a way to tax that yet. Although some people need to pay for air if they have oxygen machines. To assist their breathing. And then we can't do it alone, so we need people growing the vegetables or bringing the fuel or building our house or fixing our roof or supplying the water. So many services, and we exchange things then to compensate the time and the work, to allow the other person to live who has been dedicating their time to serve me. I see all these nice greetings you send me here, and I appreciate that, and I'm sorry that I haven't been paying too much attention to them and replying. That's life. Some days yes, some days it's more challenging. So I find it very interesting to see, in the midst of all of these realities of our life, sharing the material planet and our systems of exchange, which basically comes down to money. I'm very impressed with the first reading today of this part of Paul to the Philippians. And apparently they were very good to him and very supportive of his mission. And he is pondering that right now in this text. It's also interesting, there's a very strong comment about administering goods in the gospel as well. So these two readings mirror each other, reflect each other in a way. Brothers and sisters, I rejoice greatly in the Lord that now at last you revived your concern for me. So when people are concerned for others, that's a beautiful quality. In a consumer society, the concern is for ourselves, and we want to have more consumers. And the more consumers there are, the more money in circulation and recirculating, and then there are more taxes, and we're into a situation where the greatest value is to increase consumption. And so the greatest focus then is on the materials. The more that's consumed, the more profit. And it's really putting the thing on its head, because the first thing should be the concern for the other. I remember that slogan in the US I saw, I think it was for the Shell gas company, and their slogan was, "Service is our business." So business is usually about creating more turnover, more profit, the bottom line. And obviously a business can't work if it doesn't make profit. It's impossible. But if the focus is service, we want to serve better. So our concern is our client happy? Is the person we're serving well served? Is this what they need? Is this product meeting their concrete needs? Is it always getting better? Then it's about this topic, this interest of concern for the other. And service is our business, and the ones who serve better get more business. And if they serve with greater courtesy, with greater finesse, with greater care, to even go and give delight to the others, not just to cover a basic need. So this is the first point Paul mentions here. I rejoice greatly that now at last you revived your concern for me. So he has joy in his heart over their renewed concern. And he says, of course you were concerned about me, but you didn't have an opportunity to show your concern. Not that I say this because of need, but I say it because of yourselves. That's later down in the text. Because he wanted them to grow in their hearts to be people of concern for others. And St. Paul says, I'm not thinking about myself, because I myself have learned to live in humble circumstances, and I also know how to live with abundance. In every circumstance, in all things, I have learned the secret of being well fed and of going hungry. Isn't that an interesting way to think, and a way to live, and a way to ponder reality and face reality? That I'm able to live in abundance, and I'm able to live in times of need and even dire need. I'm able to live. My dignity is above abundance, and my dignity is above need. And it's amazing to see, especially parents with little children who live in great abundance, and their children are not spoiled by that. Their dignity is above abundance of material things. And then on the other hand, you see parents in great need, and yet they know how to keep their chin up and how to keep their children's chin up. They're able to deal with their human dignity is above material need. Obviously, basic needs are essential, but even when basic needs are very tight, it's just wonderful to see this in some poor countries where they're just beans as the main staple. And the way moms have become so creative doing beans in different ways, with the slightest little variation to bring that variety. To be able to live with dignity in need and in abundance, because the material things are not the measure of my happiness. And we saw that great one that I'm always talking about, Maximilian Kolbe, even in the concentration camp, and he had started huge communities, and he was one of the major frontline innovators for publications in the Christian community in Poland, and he brought that to Japan back in the early 20th century, 100 years ago. And in the concentration camp, he was sharing the little ration he had with prisoners who were more feeble or sick than he was. This ability to live in abundance and to live in need. What a great virtue. And then he goes on to say this famous line that's often quoted on its own because it's so powerful. I have strength for everything through him who empowers me. As if he's incredible love for Christ. And I even know that line in Latin, it's kind of a motto, you know. I am able to do everything through the power of him who strengthens me. Still, it was kind of you to share in my distress. You Philippians indeed know that from at the beginning of the gospel, when I left Macedonia, not a single church shared with me in an account of giving and receiving, except you alone. So they were already supporting him years earlier. For even when I was at Thessalonica, you sent me something for my needs, not only once, but more than once. It is not that I am eager for the gift. Listen to this nuance. It is not that I am eager for the gift. Rather, I am eager for the profit that accrues to your account. So he's seeing this young community of followers, of disciples, growing in their maturity, growing spiritually. And this gives him the joy. This is why he was rejoicing at the beginning. I have received full payment and I abound. I am very well supplied because of what I received from you through Epaphroditus. There's a name now of some grandmother there's looking for a name for a grandchild. Epaphroditus. And your gift was a fragrant aroma, an acceptable sacrifice, pleasing to God. My God will fully supply whatever you need in accord with his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. And there the word riches is being used, and God has these riches. And the riches are also the joy that Paul himself is experiencing. That's part of the riches. In a certain sense, you could make a parallel here with love, because it's all really about love. And you can think of what you say on your marriage day. I will love you in good times and in bad times, in sickness or in health, in riches or in poverty. Because the love has a dignity and a level way beyond the material circumstances. And that faithful love way beyond the wear and tear of decades. And the love that's way above and beyond even Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. That love, that the human dignity is way above the material. The material is beautiful, like look at this sunrise. And yet it's only a little thread of comparison to the beautiful fabric, the beautiful tapestry of the human dignity. So I find this reflection amazing that Paul is sharing with the Philippians about this attitude. The attitude to the material, in the material world in which we live, and we have real needs, and we do it together in community. And there's another line from a different letter that's in the 2 Corinthians, which is part of the Alleluia verse today, and it says, Jesus Christ became poor, although he was rich, the divinity, so that by his poverty, becoming down like us, we might become rich. Because then he lived among us and he opened up all of that for us. Jesus became poor so that we might become rich. And then his teaching, Jesus' teaching in the gospel passage we have today from Luke 16, is, I tell you, make friends for yourselves with dishonest wealth. So it's a continuity of yesterday's gospel passage. So that when dishonest wealth fails, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. So by doing good for others with material things, we are building a huge future. There's a dividend that will never go to waste, will never be ruined. Where moth cannot damage those fabrics, and where no thief or brigand can break in and destroy or steal. And if we know how to deal with these realities, it's called dishonest wealth. Why? Because there's often so much selfishness and so much cheating in the administration of material things. And therefore this adjective is used here, it is dishonest wealth. If therefore you are not trustworthy with dishonest wealth, who will trust you with true wealth? So that means the way we handle the material things we have is a formation of our character, of our virtue, of our person, in the dignity of our person. Because we're not what we own. But the way we handle what we own expresses our dignity, develops it, strengthens it. People, thank you. Thank you for being with us this morning here at the Sea of Galilee in this beautiful spot here at Magdala for Sunrise Stroll and Chat. May God bless you and hold you in the palm of his hand. Have a blessed Saturday, blessed Sunday, or a good sleep on Friday night if you're in the Americas. God bless you. See you later, alligators.